Welcome. It is Monday morning. You're listening to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. It's the last Monday in October of 2015. It's getting a little rainy, a little chilly here in Atlanta. We are glad to be here. We're glad you are listening. You definitely could have been doing something else this morning, like getting fresh coffee at your job or hitting on the secretary at the water cooler. But you're sitting here, you're listening to me. I got the funny man, Vic Kenny, in the building, and the truth, Miss Renee Jemison, here with me as well. This is the time where the Sports Joc gets to sit and monologue about last week. But we're having some technical difficulties over there, so I might have the monologue for the next 3 hours. Messing around with these people in this building here. But we are glad to be here. Marijuana is going to be on the docket this day. We're going to see where my two co-hosts stand on passing the law of marijuana. Put out that joint, Big Kenny. No, he's not smoking. That is true. No, both of them are smoking. No, I'm messing with you. I am getting secondhand smoking here, but I think it's from the pesticides up in this rat-filled place. And I want to know still, why aren't can I get my content sheet?
Working on it.
Working on it. I've been sitting here since 7:20, and now they still can't get me what I need to perform today. Did you enjoy your weekend? Did your team win yesterday? Big day tomorrow. The NBA not the playoffs. The NBA kicks off this season, and Major League playoffs still go on in the World Series. The Mets taking on the Royals. We're going to talk to our man Doug Fireball Turnbull later in the show about NASCAR. And Mr. Joe Von Don, the Cleveland beat writer, about the Cavs and the King. Tomorrow here in Atlanta, the Hawks will take on the Pistons, and the Cavs tomorrow will be visiting the Bulls. We'll see if Derrick Rose shows up with those arched eyebrows. But a lot going on. I'm glad to be here. Just send a quick shout out to the families up at Tennessee State going through the tragedy of a murder on campus. This is not a repeat show. They had a shooting up there about 2 weeks ago. The Truth even told me over at North Carolina Central they had another shooting on campus. It's just amazing how certain places that we used to have sacred, people kind of stayed away from. It's becoming a common ground of gunplay all around. Halloween is this Saturday. What will be your costume? I was going to go as Caitlyn Jenner. No, I wouldn't go as Caitlyn Jenner. Everybody would recognize me, I tell you that. But Caitlyn Jenner is the Woman of the Year. I know you women should be upset about that. They said her and Reese Witherspoon are tied for, I think it was Esquire or one of those magazines, Woman of the Year. I don't know how you've only been a woman 4 months and you get to win an award. You're just a new woman. You're not even like an old woman, and you beat out established women. I got to see how the Truth feels about that. And in the Halloween spirit, a man, as I always say, I grew up admiring. He gave us the no-look pass. He gave us Showtime. Out in California, the Magic Man dazzled everybody. But this is probably what he is waking up to. His son, E.J. Johnson. If we can get that picture up, this was his Halloween costume. He going all full out weird. I don't know whether is that finger mean you're leaving church or wait on a second. Okay, they give you that finger like, I can't ever get what I want. Boy, it's like how Big Kenny talk about his marriage. He always got to wait. He don't never always a delay in what he get. Can I get my E.J. Johnson picture?
1 second.
1 second. Well, I'll just keep rambling on. If you don't know Magic Johnson's son, that is him right there. This was his Halloween costume to the Maxim Halloween party this past weekend. And he went as that thing. I don't know what that is. It's a tiara with his Prince mask, and he has a bathrobe and some stockings on. Just take it in, breathe it in. Breathe it in. We have another shot. That's the only shot we can get to. Can I see him full length? There's no full length of him. I want Big Kenny to soak up all 6'6" of him. Can I get a little of that full length E.J. Johnson? There you go, Big Kenny. Yes, baby. Yes, work it for him, Big Kenny. Snap your fingers in a Z. Is that not what it say? Isn't that what? Oh, but that's what Magic is doing. I wonder if Samuel L. ever just called Magic. You know, they boys. I wonder what that called. Hey, man, I bumped into EJ last night, man. I bumped into EJ. I almost didn't recognize him. Magic think the same thing, but that is EJ Halloween. Got on less clothes than a woman would in that scene. Sometimes you can go so far, people don't even remember that you are homosexual. They just start thinking, what are you? Like, you're not even, what is that? So I don't even know what you deal with when you go that far. But that is Irving, Magic Johnson's son, EJ. And one thing before I bring my co-host on, when are you the second? I had a big debate about that. If my dad was senior and then I'm junior and then I have a son and he is the third, well, how do you become the second? Who is the second? Am I the second son of the daddy or the granddaddy? Does anybody know that answer? Or am I, as junior, the second? I couldn't figure out how that really works, and I know that might be crazy, but with all these name jerseys, you know, everybody now who has a son, because you're not even supposed to say senior, right? Steve put Steve Smith Sr. because he had a baby boy, but you're Steve Smith, and he's the one who's supposed to put the junior. The senior guy never put senior on his jersey. You know, he would be the junior, right? Well, I got some old people in here. They'll be the answer. Funny man himself, Chicago's finest. That was him posed with EJ. He was dressed up like a white lady in that Halloween costume right there. The funny man, Big Kenny, in the building.
Good morning, Sports Joc. That was not me with EJ. Do you think Magic Johnson ever saw that coming? Daddy, tell me about the game with the balls again. Daddy, come throw me the ball. No, EJ, you got to put it down. I don't never want to put it down. I want to hold this ball forever, Daddy.
And the truth is in the house. Good morning to you.
Hey, I am the second co-host. You got to die to be the second, by the way. So if you're a junior and senior dies, now you're the second. It's after death.
It's I knew it was a key to
Give me those details again. Give me those details.
So you're a junior as long as senior is alive. When senior dies, you're now the second.
Okay.
And then my son he's still the third.
Your son's junior or the third.
Right.
Yes, because the senior, the first, died. It's after death.
After death is when you become the second.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
See, so the people I was arguing with, they wrong and I was wrong.
Yeah, I Googled it.
I knew it wasn't just because I was the junior and once I had a son, I became the second. That's not how it works.
It says on here, if the parent dies and you're using those senior and junior, then you refer to as just the senior at first, but the second once Mr. Barnabas dies, senior dies.
That puts a whole new light on me and my son's relationship. I said, hey, Kenny Jr., he says, the second. I said, no, Junior, he says, the second. Maybe he knows something that I am not yet aware of.
Your imminent death.
I have to call my son. Dre beats are in the mail. No.
That was your warning.
You can go to Panama City for spring break
at 12.
Yeah, don't let those breaks stress you.
If you didn't, we were discussing when are you the second, and if you're a junior, you become the second if that's what you choose to call yourself once senior passes away. And But what if I'm Junior, my son is Trey, he has a son, and he names
That's
him.
a math question. You got to stop.
Name him George. Didn't you name him George?
Yeah, carry the one. I don't know.
Then you be George 1 and George 2 and George 3 and George 8, George
Quattro
9.
Cinco.
Oh, man, as we go to break, as I told you, we're going to get a little weed research today. Marijuana usage in our country is...
See, I'm a field reporter.
In 2001, 4.1% of the United States citizens was using marijuana. As of 2014, 9.5. And that's only with 3 states legalized. It's only just, it's going to be a world full of smoke. We might dissolve the ozone layer. Do the smoke get to the ozone layer? What is it? Just aerosol cans? Is that the only thing you get there? Well, sit back, relax. When we come back, we'll talk about prostitution. Have you ever paid for any? Yeah, that and much more right after this quick break on the Sports Joc Show. Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. I don't know anything about the Ghostface Killer or none of that over there.
From the Wu-Tang.
We have a terrible DJ. He has been fired at every radio station across the South.
And someone will go across the plains of existence to get his revenge.
We miss Ray.
We will go across the plains of the studio to get our revenge.
Up at the University of Louisville, head coach Rick Pitino and his merry band of basketball players. As you know, this story broke about 2 weeks ago. Katina Powell, the prostitute, after 4 years of offering her escort service to the assistant Andre McGee of the university, setting up parties and pimping out her daughter. She went on The View last week. This is what she had to say on The View. A couple of comments by her.
Al told the hosts of The View today that she first went to the NCAA and wanted to tell them her story. She claims they wouldn't listen, and that's when she contacted a publisher. Powell's daughter said the parties and the sex were, quote, happening at those parties. Powell said again today the only administrator she ever worked with at the University of Louisville was former assistant coach Andre McGee.
I thought we was going to get Katina to speak there, but that's Katina Powell. If you didn't hear The View, she was on, and the best question I liked was when the lady asked her, what made you feel like you need to tell this? And Big Kenny Truth, her answer was, I wanted the parents to know what their children were doing in college.
Okay.
On top of my children.
Yeah. Yeah, she knew what her kids were doing.
Yeah, that's why I sent them down there.
Yeah. Supervised them.
I think most of us have, whether we indulged in the college experience or not, you learn what the college experience when you went to it. You watched the mayhem, you watched the drinking, you watched the partying, you watched the sex. Whether you were doing it or not, you saw it unfold.
You watched
before your face. This story, she asked in the interview. She also asked her about why did you keep a notation. I think we played that last week, and she was like, one day she knew that they would try to say they didn't do it. I think that's why she's not really gaining any traction. Nobody sees your point. There's certain things that, like we understand, Animal House was made 35 years ago. It was all about drinking and pranks and looking through the peephole of a girl. And I think we all, if you've seen that life, already know what's going on.
I mean, really, who hasn't looked through a girl's peephole? Right.
I haven't.
Right. I mean, well, the female athletes surely have. Right?
So, only part of this that I think anybody even raising the eyebrow to is that it might have happened so frequently. But to imagine that a frat or something like that, a gang of guys, I even remember, which I don't like to tell my age, when I was 10, 11, they had the movie Porky's out. And
Another classic movie.
A classic movie, and it was about those seniors in high school driving 30, 40 miles outside of the city to a place called Porky's, which was basically where Lamar Odom ended up in Vegas at a brothel.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
And they were Porky kept raising the prices of the pork. And they ended up owing Porky, and Porky beat him up, and blah, 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 blah. But we're going back even way back then.
And you're not talking about bacon when you say pork, right?
No.
Back in the days when a McDonald's value meal was 49 cents.
Big Kenny, well, we'll start with, because you're a parent.
Yeah, I am.
Truth. And
Yes.
when you think about it, the appalling part of the story is that at some point, she brought her 2 daughters into the mix of pimping them.
Who were having sex for free, and she just figured out a way to, it's business, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to say about that lady, except I think it's just a time when she wanted to get some money out of it now, just like anybody else. Sensationalism, pays, and so she's on The View trying to get a check, and pimping her daughters is what she did.
But Big Kenny, aren't you gonna lose your audience? Like you almost have to have a game plan. But when I throw that wrinkle in, I'm gonna lose the sympathy of the people.
What when you throw which wrinkle in?
That I brought my daughters into the prostitution ring.
Well, see that's what I'm saying. When prostitution and pimping ain't just an occupation, it's a culture, and in that culture, I mean, if I can be frank, all hoes sell. You know what I mean? So if there's some around to be sold, everybody get to work. So if that's the game, that's the game you show.
And how much morality do you really expect a prostitute to have? So the fact that she would pimp her daughters really doesn't shock me. She's already.
And I think for me, it's not so much the focus on the prostitution, and everybody wants to make it about her and her daughters were. She was engaging in prostitution with her daughters. She's saying that she was indulging in prostitution with her daughters for the University of Louisville. That's what makes the state
school pride.
What makes the story sensational is that it was done for the University of Louisville in their dorms to ensure that recruits would come to the university to somehow, I guess, boost morale of the team. And that's what makes it a story. It goes on every single day. Atlanta is one of the largest market for human trafficking in the United States. They say it's like a $43 million a month industry here in Atlanta. So women are having sex for money. Atlanta's a city with a large sex trade with strip clubs on every corner, like Waffle Houses.
And churches.
But she's saying that she did it with the assistant coach's knowledge. It was a lot of money. Where was he getting the money to pay for all of these recruitment shows and just these morale parties?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're showing your uneducation by even bringing those points up to try to figure out how does a recruiter have a budget to throw parties. That's what he has. And then some people,
and so now,
some minions use their own money. Remember, my whole goal is to be a top administrator. Right. So if I have to even indulge into my own party to make this happen and look a certain way to get these big time recruits, you're trying to offer as though you were doing a public service for Louisville. I just was trying to find somebody to convince these 17, 18-year-old boys
come to my school.
They should come to Louisville.
And sex will do it.
And nothing more valuable to a 17-year-old boy than sex.
Especially when they can make it rain like they did in the video.
I always tell people, he's only out there at 17 doing crime and things like that to get things, to impress women, to want them to come over. I don't need a car for me. I need a car so that little 17-year-old girl think I'm doing it.
And we'll put out.
If it weren't for a woman, I'd just ride with Big Kenny. I mean, that's what the whole thing is. I want to look sparkling and more than I am so I can attract the women at the school. Now, as men grow up, if you mature, that kind of fade away. But in a college setting, if I can get the girl at the school, and some people use prostitutes, Some people use
Co-eds.
the co-eds.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that last week on the show.
To get these guys to, okay, now when I went to Louisville, because I went down there to Kentucky didn't offer me nothing but whiskey. I went to Louisville.
And legalized marijuana real soon.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming.
Louisville.
It'll be a flood.
They,
It'll be a flood of recruits all going to the University of Colorado.
What's the difference between what they call ambassadors when you get to any school, and not to name any names, when they take you on the tour and show you around and you end up sleeping with those girls anyway, than what she's doing or what she did?
sounds like a woman that has never gone to college and haven't tried to even send her daughters. But I think what undermined the whole story, Big Kenny is right. That is the story. What undermines her story is that you're telling me that you broke this story so another parent can figure out what's going on with their children, but you're using your children as that bait. So why how are you telling me you're so concerned?
Well, she had an epiphany. She was had a change of heart. She found the Lord, and
wrote a book, and I need somebody to try to buy it.
And now she's on The View.
And on The View, and ESPN, The View, and Good Morning America, and all owned by ABC. So they just sent around the trilogy.
I think the bigger thing is Patino. Anytime you can say Patino's name, and it seems like it's a stretch. He wasn't really all that involved in the story, but I think that's where the publicity really comes in.
Well, so I can educate Katina Powell. There's a reason why they call these places institutions. They've been here a long time. The Louisville basketball men program in a year generates $40.1 million for the university. 40.5.
More money than
so they can make it rain for a long time
for the university. So you understand how big of a program they are. The University of Kentucky only generates $23.6 million. Duke Blue Devils, 27 million. North Carolina, 21 million. Syracuse, 30 million. As you can see, nobody's even close to what the Cardinals of Louisville drag into that stadium. So something tells me, Rick Pitino, this will go away in a couple of days.
And the point is, they could buy much better looking hookers than you.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Joc Show right after this. Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We have some technical difficulties. It's raining. The lightning is taking us in and out. You don't hear. It's raining so hard on the window. We're having some problems. So hang in there with us. We'll work it out here in a second. Somebody that worked it out, Subway, former pitchman, Jared Fogle. If y'all don't remember Jared, he admitted to child pornography and sex crimes. He gets sentenced next week, but he has settled his civil case. 10 victims all received $100,000 apiece for his sex scandal. So they took all his Subway money. Ain't no 5 for 5. It's 10 for 10. That's how that worked out, Jared. Well, I can't wait to see his sentencing next week. It's a whole lot of Subway jokes. Go along with that honey bun Big Kenny offering. Something tells me people are going to be offering some 12-inch footlongs. It's too early for the 12-inch footlong joke. No. Can we get Big Kenny the truth on, please? Thank you. There we go.
The biggest technical difficulty that we're having is our producer is dumpster juice.
Dumpster juice.
He's not even trash.
Wow.
He's the juice.
After the rain.
He's the juice that builds up in the bottom, and it spills out the side of the truck and just makes the street stink. It looks like a really nice street with manicured lawns, but it's trash day, right?
Yeah. That's toxic.
That lingering just it'll hang in the air till about 5 that evening, when the rains come through. There's always that that's what it is.
Jared Fogle, what do y'all think he'll get?
Yeah, 3 years, time served.
He'll get
3
it
years time
repeated.
served?
Yeah, he's not
He'll
gonna be
get
gone
it
long.
repeatedly in prison. That's what he'll get.
He paid out $1 million. He'll get.
It'll be
I say 3
Groundhog
years.
Day. Groundhog Day every day.
Yeah.
They don't serve sub sandwiches in prison, do they?
Well, I don't know.
But he still get the foot long. I think he will probably get a minimum 7 years with time served.
So that'll shake down to what? Down to about 5
years.
Yeah, I see him sitting in there for a couple years.
Yeah. Well, and I think that they're going to have to maybe even give him more time than he usually would have gotten had it not been such a high-profile case. It's almost going to seem criminal to just let him get because most pedophiles are preparing for Halloween right now. You know what I mean? They're stocking up with the candy and decorating the front door and
Baiting them. They're baiting the children.
Right, making sure that little Hansel and Gretel stove has a tight lock on it. They doing the whole little 9 yards, and so because unfortunately, as heinous a crime as it is, it's not regulated with severe penalties in the United States.
Right.
Not yet. So Jared would have probably gotten off a lot lighter if it weren't the subway pitch guy.
Right.
So.
Well, I did read that they said he'd get minimum 5 years, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, let's see how the foot-long guy. Jared does have 2 kids of his own, which is a lot of people didn't even know. He has 2 kids of his own. So Jared, the Fogel, the foot-long.
He got tired of going out and hunting for him, I guess.
Tragedy out at Oklahoma State at their homecoming parade on Saturday. 25-year-old female driver that they are checking to see. They say that she had to be DUI. It could have been some other drug other than alcohol. It could have been marijuana. Maybe she drove over from Colorado. How far is Colorado from Oklahoma?
Far. Far.
It's far.
Yeah, it's far.
But 4 people dead, numerous people hurt. If you look at some of the pictures, she just plowed through the crowd. I even read a report where some of the fans that were further down the road thought that was part of like the parade when people were moving, that whoever was coming down the street was like throwing confetti and water, and that's why the people were kind of getting out the way. It was a car. They have arrested her and charged her with second-degree murder. And I'm quite sure this is just a sad case. Oklahoma State football team did still go out and win. And this has happened right before the game kicked off. So
They say she blacked out. And during the interview, they said they didn't feel like they were talking to a competent party at all, that she was just totally out of it. An additional 46 people were injured. And one of those people that was killed was like a 2-year-old kid.
yeah, it was a toddler.
Yeah.
And I think maybe 6 people are still like in the hospital.
Really?
Like that. So she did really hit some people. Some of the injuries were people just jumping out of the way and falling on each other, and some of them she really did hit people. She ran through a motorcycle barricade to even get into the area. So just a tragic. It's so much tragedy around just gatherings now. You know.
And she's saying that all of this was an accident, is what she's saying. Or are they saying she was impaired?
Well, they saying she's impaired. They just don't know on what.
Yeah.
It wasn't marijuana. You drive really slow when you're high.
Well, no. And you know how it is with weed. In anything you hey, what's that? What was that?
The paranoia.
What's that?
Right.
Always pulling over to see if you hit something. Did I hit something? Hey, did I? Look, hey, I heard something on the bottom. Is my old cap on? I mean, so yeah. I think that to me sounds like prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly alcohol, but it's hard to imagine someone being that drunk to just
At noon.
Well,
Oh, is that
Yeah.
what time? Yeah.
I
Right,
remember,
right,
I
right.
remember the days, but I was never trying to drive to the parade. What do you just? I'm gonna get in the parade this year if they like it or not. What do you do? How do you
Yeah.
get to the parade route and decide you're gonna just drive in?
Yeah, and going at that high rate of speed as well.
Right.
I hope they really get her help, but also throw the book hard at her. Just too much of this public killing consistently. We seem like every year there's something, people gather and people die. Moving on, here in Atlanta, as you know, the Braves after next year will be tearing down Ted Turner Stadium, and they're moving up to SunTrust Park, which is about 10 miles north of where Ted Turner Stadium is now, in another county, off the highway. Interesting story. One of the ladies that does not want the stadium to go there, she was arrested. She's actually an attorney. Her name is Susan McCoy. She's 45 years old. She opposes the stadium being built. I think it's a little too late for that. But she has been arrested for stalking one of the officials. She had sent him threatening pictures of his kids and things in front of the house that she had taken. And she has been arrested last week. 1 count of stalking and 2 counts of sending harassing communications. I don't know if that was going to ever work. One man can't just be. And once you saw them trees falling, you should have just conceded that this is happening.
And called your realtor. Move.
It's like seeing the crown of the head of a baby coming out. Just concede.
I don't want kids.
It's here. There
I
ain't no-
changed my mind.
So
I don't think the Braves Stadium should come to Cobb County. We understand, ma'am. Hey, excuse me, step to the side. Bulldozers this way. I don't think the Braves should ever leave downtown. Yeah, that's right. Look, so just blast this part out here, and then we'll put the beams up.
Yeah,
right
there's
here.
something mentally wrong with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
Well,
too-
the part of the story is that 2 of the officials, it's 3 officials, I believe, in total that
Mhm.
she is accused of threatening and menacing with emails and menacing, threatening language. But 2 of them, she alleged, set her yard on fire.
yes.
Oh, really?
So they say, she said they came to her house and set her yard on fire. And now, I don't know.
Because you know that's
There's
what
an-
big time rich officials like
Yeah.
to do. That's building
Yeah.
$400 million stadiums. They like to come set
Well,
your fence.
I mean, anything, hey, lady, you better let the Braves come out here. And then she sprays it out, and then, yeah, that'll get her.
That
That'll
sounds like
get her.
schizophrenia.
Yeah. But I mean, people are petty that way. I mean, you know what I mean.
And crazy that way.
Right.
Oh man, Big Kenny, before we go to break, you were talking about let's go and boar hunting. A couple of months ago, after the lion, I want to say his name was Cecil, not Simba, was killed by the
Cecil.
dentist.
Right.
Delta suspended shipping
Right.
heads and exotic furs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Well, those hunters are now suing Delta for basically hurting their business. That this is how we make a living. What we're shipping is not deemed to be illegal. And
That's what I'm saying. This is America. If I want to ship the head of an orangutan lady, I ought to be able to ship the head of an orangutan. You know how hard it is to get an orangutan head. I had to go all the way to where they's from. I ain't going to say where they's from because I ain't pay attention in geography like that. But that's besides the point.
So,
What's Delta saying?
well, Delta banned the shipping, and now they're going to court. That industry of hunters, and I don't know the official title of them. What would they be called? The people that mounts the
poachers.
These men are called
Poachers.
men, and men are suing to have their head. They want their head delivered, Sports Joc.
What about the
Men
other
want their
airlines,
head,
though?
and they tired of Delta holding back the head.
So we'll see how this case works out. So Cecil the lion might be coming to your house.
Southwest
soon.
will fly the head over
Can't you
here.
see the poor UPS man trying to get it off the back of the truck? This is-
We'll be back for the Sports Joc Show in just a second. Yo B, turn up in my headphones there, son. Yo B, you turned me down, son. I can't really hear it like I was there, son. Yo, God. Turn it up in my headphones there, Scott. Don't make me do the Anita Baker and start kicking speakers around here. Y'all won't turn the headphones up. The music and need to get loose up there on the stage. Yep. There we go. Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. College football, hot and heavy. My Auburn Tigers went into 500 overtimes, only to lose to Arkansas. It was a thrilling overtime, but we did come up on the short end. Overtime, and it literally was like 6 overtimes. Like, you know, how college does it. They set the ball on the 25. Both teams get a chance to score, and Arkansas prevailed at home. Auburn is looking like it's going to be real hard to make not the playoffs, but a bowl game coming up this year down in Miami. If you was watching this game and you know anything about football, I text one of my best friends after the first quarter. It was 21-0. I said Al Golden might be out of a job in about 45 more minutes because you can't lose at home. Clemson went into Miami. Do we have that picture of Leon Searcy over there? Leon Searcy, one of the Hurricane greats. I sent it to your phone. Big Kenny, true. This is what Searcy sent out on, I think, Instagram or a tweet, however you send it out there on the cloud. There he is. He's smoking a stogie. He said, this is the face you have when you're down 21-0. And when your big-time alumnus start sending stuff out like that, that means the coach's job is definitely in trouble. Even Warren Sapp was mad. So, you know, for him to come out of hiding and make a comment about anybody's performance.
Yeah.
It must have been real crucial.
I didn't touch them prostitutes.
Or my girlfriend.
and fired it, coach.
Miami lost at home to Clemson 58-0. The Al Golden era is over. I threw out the conspiracy. It'll be amazing not to see Steve Spurrier in Miami. It sets up real well. He's the winningest Florida coach. He knows that area. Hey, he left South Carolina. I'm quite sure that break when he come around to December. They love to tell you that as coaches. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with my wife, and now I'm taking the job over here. Coach, that was yesterday that you said you were gonna hang out with my wife. Yeah, that's why he made sure at his press conference he said, "I'm resigning, not retiring." So even maybe he got a call from Miami to let him know if Golden don't turn this round, we're going to get him up out of here.
So he sits out that non-compete clause time.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Steve Spurrier was reached for comment outside his new Miami mansion that he just moved into. And he said maybe.
He was just moving some furniture.
Yeah, he just, the trucks were pulling up, and he said, we'll see where this goes.
That's a great place to retire.
He's from Florida. He's 70. He's going to be 71.
It's Miami.
The doctor already recommended warmer weather. You got a bigger city and everything. And like I said, the best part about it, it seems crazy, but he was at the University of Florida for a decade. He already has these recruiting routes mapped out. And you want to bring some notoriety back to your team, Steve Spurrier in Miami.
And it couldn't hurt. I mean, they're doing horrible.
Yeah, you can't be any worse with that.
A 70-year-old man can fix that.
So Steve Spurrier in Miami could be a thing. College football shakeup in the top 10. I was at the Georgia Tech Florida State game.
Oh, my God! Georgia Tech wins! Georgia Tech wins!
That is kind of how it sounded.
Exactly what it sounds like.
You couldn't understand what he was saying. You can't. There was a kid out there. He plays free safety. Name's James, number 3. He's from Haines City, Florida. He grew up in my camp, and I went out there to see him play, me and his uncle. You had a good game all around to be a true freshman starting at Florida State. So very proud of him. He was the number 1 ranked safety coming out, even though we didn't win any games in Haines City. See, we don't go by our record, Big Kenny. You know, because we 0-5 don't mean
nobody pays attention to records.
Oh, yeah, it's sports. Who
Yeah,
does
who
that? Who would pay attention to your record in
It's about the
sports?
spirit.
Yeah. Let's just play ball.
But right here, Georgia Tech blocking this field goal And just like in the Auburn game a couple years ago against Alabama, the field goal team forgot to cover out. And this ball is returnable. And as you can see, Georgia Tech decided, hey, since it's returnable, how about we return it? And the crowd goes crazy.
See that's why Georgia Tech's one of those top technical schools, because they figured out if it's returnable. Let's return.
They're putting those degrees in.
At state, they would have been like, "Oh, what do we do now? What do we do? What do we do? When do we have a ball? We have the ball, and the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. We are in the football game."
Yeah, but in Tech, they figured out the probability of it happening. It's already
the
looking
ball
at the
is
schematic.
returnable, I would say. Let's confer on this with the other lads. By consensus, what say ye?
Well, if you take
Point of order.
if you take a 45-degree angle, and then make a hard left.
Yeah.
And it's engineering, and they scored a touchdown.
I think they all agree. Yeah.
Shout out to all my Tech friends.
Georgia
All my
Tech.
smart
Only thing I
friends.
didn't like about the game, and thank you, Mike Stamos, for the tickets, was there was a fan sitting in front of me. And, the Sports Joc is new to even being out with the fans as far as going to sporting events, because when I played, I never really went to games of any kind other than maybe a high school game or something. So I'm trying to learn fan protocol. This fan in front of me passed gas for like 4 quarters.
It was the beans.
And it was a good win, so it was able to pass you quick. But I didn't know, am I supposed to tap him? I don't know the protocol.
Well, I'm not too sure of the protocol of the fan myself, Sports Joc. I need to learn what sort of peasantry that involves. I know you
understand he's been on the field.
You and I would never confer with such. But the passing of gas is quite inappropriate.
Flatulence.
Okay.
Yes, that is
flatulence.
quite
That's-
inappropriate.
Okay. So it is okay to say something.
After the first quarter, I mean, really, it's a medical issue. If he passed gas for 4 quarters, there's
And
something
I
wrong
just
with
didn't
him.
know, because I'm like, okay, this is maybe why people jump into fights. I
Well,
say
did you
something
say
to him.
anything?
No, I don't want to get into nothing, so I just sat there.
Okay, well,
And-
was he big? Well, you're big, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I ain't worried about
You
the
got-
size.
you got a
of it.
size
What
stuff.
you talking about? I just
I'm like,
So tell me, Iron Man, was he
Right.
was he acting angry?
right.
Who cares?
I do. I'm like, okay.
but I just didn't know. It was a lot of learning of fan etiquette. The lady's daughter kept taking her straw out of the drink, and the Coke was shooting onto my Jordans, and I laughed it off a couple of times, and then I don't know what y'all are doing. So I'm trying to learn.
That's just that Georgia Tech mentality that, hey, we've got great education and nothing's really that serious. Like out in New Mexico State, they have cockfights in the stands. So it depends on
No,
what
Sports
region
Joc
you're
just
in.
need to share the ticket.
Yeah.
Stay at home and watch it on TV next time. I just think,
At LSU, they're gator wrestling in the stands.
Yeah.
So.
But Florida State now has dropped out of the top 10. The number 1 team in the country still is the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Georgia Tech did that for you too, Florida State.
When they blew out Rutgers the other day. Baylor is 2. Clemson moved up from 6 after destroying Miami at home to 3. LSU is at 5. Leonard Fournette still up for the Heisman. I still think he had a slow day, 19 carries, 150 yards. So he had an off day. TCU dropped 5 spots, and Alabama is 7, even though they barely beat Tennessee. And Michigan State is 8 behind them. So that is how it's going in the world of college football right now. And once again, we'd like to send our condolences out to anybody that was hurt in that Oklahoma State tragedy. Just sitting there. To round out the top 10, just so people, you didn't say my team. Stanford is 8, Notre Dame is 9, and Iowa is 10. Iowa. What are they? The Jayhawks, Hawkeyes, or something like that.
Hawkeye.
You ever been to Iowa? Anybody ever been to Iowa?
Yeah, I've been through.
Iowa. Never been to Iowa. Was it cornfields out there? Potatoes? What they got out there?
Iowa's corn.
Corn. Iowa corn. I thought corn was Nebraska. The corn house. But they got
That's their
corn
name.
everywhere. They got corn all in everywhere.
Yeah, the biggest corn producing state in the United States is called the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all pretty much corn and beans and taters.
The taters out there. Got you.
Except for that one guy in Wisconsin I'm growing spinach.
One thing I didn't ask you before we go to break, Halloween, Saturday, what's your coolest outfit you ever dressed up as Halloween, as an adult? So since the age of 21.
I have never dressed as an adult.
Never as an adult?
Never. Maybe this year I'll make it my first, but I have never put on a costume.
Vic Kenny?
Last year I was a comedian.
Yeah.
The year before that I went as
a comedian.
Yeah. And this year, but listen, I'm stepping outside the box, and this year I'm going as a comedian.
Yeah. Maybe this year.
I was thinking about going down to the vintage store and go as the producer over there.
All you need is some Morris Day music. Who plays this?
We'll be back with the NFL report right after this break.
Enough is enough! I have had it! Why so serious? And we hold the world ransom for Wayne Gandy. Excuse me while I whip this out. Show me.
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
You may build me up, yeah, can you build me up, yeah, you won't break me down, I've come so far, yeah, I've come so far, yeah, so just throw in the towel, it's a new day, I'ma do it, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way, you may build me up.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Just so my co-hosts don't feel like I cheated them, they did research their college teams. Vic Kenny and the Southern Miss Golden Eagles beat the Charlotte 49ers. Yeah, that powerhouse out of Charlotte. The 49ers of Charlotte. The 49ers of Charlotte. But they beat them like they was the Charlotte. 44-10, and the Albany State Golden Rams, because you know when you think of Rams, you think of gold. Beat the Clark Atlanta Bandits. What was their name down there? The Panthers. I thought they were the Bandits of Clark. Wrong college. 26-14. So I give them love right there. As I said, if you didn't catch the first hour, we are doing a little marijuana report. Thursday, they seized 10 tons. Yeah, I said tons of marijuana in a tunnel over in San Diego. They had a elaborate tunnel over in San Diego connecting Tijuana and Diego. Maybe the Raiders were running in it because they ran all over the Chargers yesterday, but we'll get to that later. Vic Kenny probably appreciate this because I'm quite sure he was the architect behind the design. The passageway was 9 feet deep. It was 2,600 feet long. 3/4 of it was in Tijuana, so they didn't want to build too much in San Diego. You know, the price of land is higher in California. They had ventilation, metal beams to keep it from collapsing. It belonged to El Chapo.
Yes.
Shocker. Well, I mean, I thought the whole state. He's still on the loose. I think I saw him at Quick Trip this morning, chilling, but maybe I just got his face wrong. No, I'm just playing El Chapo. I'm sorry, man. That might have been you at the game farting. I'm sorry. See, you just never know, man. You can't just try people. You ain't got a lot of knowledge of what's going on. But 10 tons of anything is a lot. 10 tons of pot they seized in the tunnel, which means it really was probably 13 tons because they got to sell them other 3 tons. just to keep up public relations. Somebody got to get paid off. Somebody had to get paid off to get told. You didn't just run up on this operation. Somebody gave you some information. So I just thought I would pass that along. We got a little more weed coming up in the show. But 10 tons, El Chapo. NFL, my co-hosts are here, Big Kenny, the funny man himself. His Jets.
Jets.
Lost to Pretty Tom yesterday, 30-23.
Let me tell you, as hurtful as it was for Pretty Tom to beat the Jets, it was nothing compared to the loss me and my friends had out there in San Diego. I mean, man, just
there go prices.
Talk about gangrene.
Prices are going up though.
30-23, the Patriots over the Jets. It was a good game. Tom Brady, a little off, 34 of 54. Threw for 2 touchdowns, but Ryan Fitzpatrick playing pretty well. It's always cool to see Geno over there just accepting, yeah, I ain't going to get back in there. I kept telling my boy while I was hurt, when I get back, I'm going to take it back, but I'm just over there, just a guy. Write that something down. Get your clipboard. Make yourself look important. Blend in more. Put some headsets on and get a clipboard. And
he's thinking of other
out the sideline.
He's thinking of other stuff like man, Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick did it for a while. They did it for a while. I could do this.
Tom Brady and his gang of married men, they still not covering Rob Gronkowski. He had 11 catches, 108 yards at the tight end position, and a touchdown. I guess they still haven't conceded he is the best tight end in the league. The Jets are now 4-2. The Patriots are 6-0. And once again, it seems that for some reason Tom Brady is playing with a chip
in his brain. we will not have to deflate the balls anymore, Master. I am on autopilot now.
I don't need any more help. I'll just do it myself. And he's throwing the ball around. They're 6-0, and I don't think when you look at their team, you don't look out there and the names pop off to say 6-0. You have to be, first of all, you have to be a football purist to even know who's on defense. Because them names are just some guys. This is the no-name defense.
What'd you call him?
Tom Brady and that defense with a big white guy and the guy with the Spanish parents.
And that other dude.
They were unstoppable today. When guy with the dreadlocks ran in and he helped guy with the 3 tattoos make that sack, it was phenomenal.
And that's really how it is out there. When you look out there, they don't have those $6 million, $10 million players where you're like, oh man, they got him.
Their record.
It's like you flipping a book or Googling, trying to figure out who some of those guys are and where they've been from. But they're 6-0. 10 games to go. You go 5-5, 6-4. You probably win the AFC home field advantage. I mean, right now for how they're playing, but great job by them. And the Jets are definitely at 4-2. I can definitely say they're better and look better. They can play the way they played yesterday against the other 30 teams, and they're going to win a lot of those games. So they didn't lose like they were playing bad. They actually played a pretty good game.
Right.
You just played a better team at the end.
Do you think the guy that told on Brady with inflate gate is feeling pretty stupid? I'm telling you, he didn't have the air in the balls. It was horrible. He won't be able to win if he doesn't cheat. Now they're 6-0. It's something I'm telling you. We have to investigate.
Yesterday up in New York, the Giants beating the Cowboys. The Cowboys starting Matt Castle in this game. They have benched Brandon Whedon. Castle comes in the game. Not a super bad day for just jumping out there. He threw 3 interceptions.
Where'd they get Matt Castle from?
That's what I'm saying, from where he just came out of the grave.
Not the grave.
This Halloween, it comes back from the dead. After being decayed all over the NFL, it's Matt Castle.
Eli Manning not doing much of anything. They ran the ball a lot. The defense
He was dead.
The defense dominated the ball. Antonio Dominique Cromartie ran a touchdown back. He picked Matt Castle, ran it back for a touchdown. One of the biggest stories out of this game was before the game, Dez Bryant, Big Kenny Truth, has adopted a pet monkey. And do we have a picture of Dez and his monkey trying to do, anything to stay relevant? He has adopted a pet monkey. A lot of activists want him to give the monkey to a local zoo, saying that it's just cute right now, but eventually monkeys
Claw your eyes out.
Then
they become monkeys.
he can't concentrate when he on the road, and his mama calling him, Dad, come get this damn monkey. Dad, come get this monkey. This monkey all over the house done broke my china.
Well, Michael Jackson had a monkey. I think Dad should be able to keep his monkey.
Dad, this monkey that ate my yogurt out the Frigidaire. Dad, come get this monkey. I don't even know why you got a monkey in the first place.
But a lot of people want Dez to get his monkey
I
back.
say keep the monkey.
But that monkey, it just looked cute right there.
It's a mini monkey. It's not. It's like a. Yeah, it's a small version. It's not gonna get too much bigger.
Really?
Yeah, it's small.
Well, you ever watched Jurassic Park? The raptors, when they babies, are more dangerous when they. I mean, that monkey in about a year. What do you do with a monkey?
There was another cowboy that had a pet monkey. Oronde, is it Gadsden? He had a monkey in '95.
Oh, did
So
he?
he's not the first player on the team. Maybe they sourced monkeys out there.
And then there was nuclear war, and the monkey took over. And he came up with a tribe of other smart monkeys.
How about just getting back on the field and being the dominant receiver that you already are?
Play
And
football.
you don't need.
Hey, Des Bryant, how about an Xbox? Why don't you?
How about some kids?
If you just need something to entertain you, get a PlayStation 4.
A couple of children.
I'm saying.
I don't get it. I mean, it's this era to be different is just like interesting, because when you watch a game now, everybody is the third and sir and junior. They throw it on the back of their jerseys it's a new title.
But this money has to give you some kind of unbelievable access, because I'm an international traveled man, and I have nobody to call to get a monkey. There's nobody I could call like, hey, Benny still got them monkeys. You know what I'm saying? I've never run across anyone in my travels that would have a monkey for sale.
Yes.
How does he find a monkey?
Monkey on your back,
To
maybe.
get to the and bring it to the house.
Because I'm sitting here.
I want a monkey to keep, not just to go look at it. I want a monkey to keep at my house, right?
But here's the thing. I'm sitting here and I'm jotting down ideas that's going to separate me in notoriety.
Let's come get this monkey.
What was Michael Jackson's monkey's name? Bubbles, yeah.
But we had already constituted Michael as triple bipolar.
Bonkers.
Yeah, so that was fine. Dez Bryant is a great receiver. What happened to just being a great receiver? You don't have to be a great receiver that adopts monkeys.
I got to get my Twitter game up. The monkey looks good on Instagram.
All them yards is good, but if you want something to set you apart for real, you need to get you a monkey.
We'll be right back for the Sports Joc Show.
It's Wayne Gandy. It's Wayne Gandy.
Oh, log on so you can see the Sports Joc, even Big Kenny.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. One thing we didn't show you coming out of that Dallas game, Greg Hardy back, got a lot of energy. If you don't know, he missed the first 3 or 4 games due to suspension. He got hot and heated with one of the coaches on the sideline. Always good to see that fire of a player. Let's see Greg pushing on the coach over there. Dez and his monkey jumped in there at some point. So I'm talking about. There we go. It ain't a game till a coach get knocked out.
Hey, go back and.
Did you see the monkey in there?
No. But we have the conversation. I'm not guilty of domestic violence. Get out of my face. What makes you think that I'm violent? I would never hit anybody.
That is Greg Hardy, the DN. If you don't know the story, go dig it up. How about that?
Come on now.
Y'all full.
Give him a recap.
Come on, give him a recap.
I gave you Greg and I gave you anger. Google Greg Hardy anger and see how many things pop up.
I tell you what will not pop up, the witness.
Well, at least some things every once in a while, a little nugget for people to research.
Okay.
Yeah. The don't listen to the producer. People like to be intrigued.
Not really.
Yeah, he the only guy that's still wearing tighty whities. He has no intrigue to what he do. It's tighty whities over there.
That's the image I could have gone without my entire life. Thank you, Sports Joc. If there's nothing else that I need right now,
is that in your head?
Maybe the only thing that would make that go away is if maybe a 747 hit the building right now.
Oh man, the Rams at home taking on the Browns, winning 24-6. Todd Gurley showing you what modern medicine can do. 19 carries, Big Kenny Truth, 128 yards. I kept telling people, draft Gurley. Don't buy into that you can't come back from knee injury. It's not the same. He's looking like the Gurley we thought he would look like. 2 touchdowns, ran one for 48 yards. Really showing signs of being puts in mind of Adrian Peterson. He
looks a little leaner than he was at Georgia, like he dropped a couple of pounds maybe.
Yeah, it's because he offered the Roman noodles, and you can actually get real whole wheat pasta.
Lots of protein.
Where you got the
Look at.
But you know they was eating good up there because they was stealing them checks. So
Hey.
they was eating real good.
They kept a check scheme going on over there.
They probably never made it to Whole Foods much, but they had the money. They had the money.
Oh, the Rams are 3-3. The Browns are 2-6. And you people that I don't understand what the NFL is investigating with Johnny Manziel. After that case, the cops went to investigate. They gave nobody a ticket. Nobody got arrested. And for the NFL to be talking about they're launching an investigation into it, what would you have been investigating? You're just keeping something stirred up and trying to make people feel like you're let stuff go. It'll go. Nobody's that. Johnny is not even on the field. He came in with 3 minutes to go in this game. He said that as she tried to get out of the car, I grabbed her wrist.
That's it.
This is what he told the cops when they came over.
And they said, okay, go home.
And that was it. No punches, no fighting. She went to get out of the car. He grabbed her wrist and told her don't go. In that, she got a little bruising, which I'm quite sure that delicate skin, never even been in the sun.
She weighs like 95 pounds.
It is the bruised 108-pound, 5'9" woman that has always used expensive lotions. That skin that don't take a lot of pressure.
You made that sound appealing.
That porcelain skin.
That delicate skin. Always rubbed down with the finest of lotion.
And oils.
112 pounds.
Of nothing. I mean, you go right to the bone when you grab that. I don't know why people.
You make it sound like a turkey neck. Go right to the bone.
NFL needs some other kind of story to come out. I mean, if that's all they got to grab at.
Yeah, that's why we're going to launch an investigation. Into what? Everybody went home. Everybody went home.
And she's fine. She stated, no problem. It was just a little silly conversation. I'm still in love.
Hey, and move on. Johnny's still here. Up in Tennessee, in Nashville, not only was it a shooting at Tennessee State, as I said, the Falcons went blank. They didn't do a lot of shooting up there. Went blank, like off the blank.
They won.
Hey, I'm trying. I just started Big Kenny's workshop.
Yeah.
It's day 2.
Don't blame that on my workout. You be done crashed the website.
You didn't teach the Sports Joc how to be funny.
With folks asking for a refund. Let me get my money back.
Oh man, the Falcons now 6-1.
It wasn't attractive, but we won.
You got the win. 10-7.
That sounds like a drunk night at the club. It wasn't attractive, but
Hey, I got
I
some.
got some. Right. I got mine.
The Falcons are now 6-1. The Titans are 1-5, going nowhere. They had to start Zach Mattenberger at quarterback because Marcus Mariota was out with a knee injury. Really nothing to actually tell you about this game. There was not an actual detail. Devontae Freeman ran hard, I can say that, so he's still shining and leading the Falcons, but they didn't. It wasn't nothing really to say.
It wasn't
in the game
I mean,
like that.
It was.
The bear got on his back.
Which is indicative of the score, 10-7. It wasn't much to say about this game, but the Falcons are 6-1.
But
And we
when
won.
but when you look at the record, it doesn't go 6-1. But one of those wins was
just
ugly.
not an attract. Yeah.
Right. It's just
Houston traveling down to Miami, losing 44-26 to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3-3. They're 2-0 under their new head coach. Remember, they got rid of Phil Bunn after they lost over in London, and now they're under Campbell down there. And now they have won 2 games since, 44-26 in this game. Mr. Atheist, Aaron Foster, goes out with a pulled Achilles, so his day's probably in
and
Houston.
Jesus was like, take that.
And death. And it's always something.
So Aaron Foster, we hope you get well. Maybe a fresh scene will get you, sometimes you get comfortable in places. And he started playing like that, like I'm in good with
Houston.
the foundation. I mean, not the foundation, with the team. And it started being one of those, I feel like playing today. I don't. But when you're in places where you're uncomfortable with it, I was saying before the show, to the bad producer, you have to go out and feel like you got to do it all the time because the organization doesn't have any loyalty to you. I think there he seems like, I'm a Texan for life. I'm probably going to leave here and go up in the owner suite and host some Asian revivals and stuff over here and all that kind of stuff. And now he's hurt again. He's already over the last 4 or 5 years never played 16 games. So he hurt his Achilles, which is always a big injury, especially for a running back. And the Texans, after being on Hard Knocks, the curse of the Hard Knocks is what people are calling it, 2-5 and really going nowhere fast. And every team that seems to get on Hard Knocks falls through. Can we get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
I got a hallelujah. I didn't just get a hallelujah. Always that one lady in church to make sure you hear her. We always got to be so out.
Extra.
Yeah, extra. I heard that.
Yes, Jesus! Yes!
She waited till everybody get quiet. And then she said, I don't know.
That's a dating call in church. Yeah.
New Orleans, after beating the Falcons, are keeping their winning ways. Drew Brees having a decent day. Luke McGowan off of his AT&T commercial, or is that Sprint? The backup got in for and threw a touchdown. But now the Saints are 3-4. They beat the Colts 27-21. A lot of people are trying to figure out where is this great Colts team that we thought was going to challenge the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Manning this year. They have not shown up. They're 3-4, and the players they went and got, Andrew Johnson and Frank Gore have not shown up in big ways, and now they're 3-4. And at the bottom, Andrew Luck's throwing a lot of interceptions, which is really not his game, threw 2 yesterday. Now the Saints feel like they're still in the hunt to catch up with the Falcons and the Panthers, as we will talk about the Panthers a little later. And before we go to break, one more game. The Chiefs, 23. The Steelers, 13. Landry Jones starting for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Vick on the sidelines in sweats. So the Michael Vick era seemed like it might be over in Pittsburgh. Smoke 2. Smoke 1. Don't let me cheat him. Smoke 1. Le'Veon Bell. 17 carries, 121 yards, so he is back to his ways, one of the top running backs, if not the top running back in the NFL. But they're falling to Alex Smith and the Chiefs 23-13. And you kind of figured till Big Ben gets back, they'll win 1, lose 1, win 1, because he is the engine that gets them going, and he's made this team over the last 6 years his own. The Steelers are 4-3. The Chiefs are 2-5. Yes, indeed. One thing about the Steelers, just quick note, Ryan Shazier, their linebacker, he is really trying to draw attention to, I know some of you watching the game, he's the guy that has alopecia. So when you look out there, he got that moon body. There's no hair on it. I had a teammate in college named Wayne Bowsma, and he was the first man I had ever met with alopecia. Only thing was Wayne had a twin, and he looked like a caveman. He walked in there, and he looked just like Wayne. You would think Wayne was dressing up for Halloween. That's how much hair his brother had. I wonder how that room was.
He got all the hair.
He had all the hair.
From two people.
Shake it, looked like he was doing a hair commercial.
Hey, Wayne, you've got something on your lips. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. Right here. Ooh, me, Wayne, me twin brother. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
So now Shazier has teamed up with Charlie Villanova in the NBA, who also has alopecia, went to Michigan State. And trying to bring awareness to how kids are embarrassed about this disease in high school. Okay. But we'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
The Sports Joc Show is now available live on YouTube. Watch our website or mobile app at sportsjoc.com or search the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. Tonight's Monday night game, 8:30, ESPN. 4-2 Arizona hosting 1-5 Baltimore Ravens. If you didn't know, ESPN cut 300 jobs last week. No on-air talent went out the window, but they did let 300 people go. They are working with YouTube. So in a minute, for you people that are YouTube junkies, all ESPN material will be pulled off. You will now. And Big Kenny, I think you're right. It might be time for me and you to go to Vegas. We spoke about this a good year and a half ago. Eventually, you will pay for all sports. ESPN will be charging you $9.99 if you want a YouTube. It's called YouTube Red. YouTube Red. $9.99 to watch any of their material. They will be pulling it off, and you will have to get that. I don't really speak computer, so I don't know what that actually means. I don't know if I've ever YouTubed anything, but.
And now you definitely won't. For $9.99.
Yesterday, if you were trying to catch out the Jacksonville Buffalo game, it was over in London. We're sorry to you people over here, you Brits. We didn't just send you two bomb teams. We sent you two bomb teams. Jacksonville winning 34-31. This game, because I tried to watch it when I did arise from my bed, was on Yahoo. It wasn't even on television. So you had to go on Yahoo to even watch this game. Big Kenny, can you explain what did that mean I would have had to do?
Turn on the computer.
No, I cannot explain what that would. On Yahoo.
Yeah.
Right next to the recipes.
And your AOL email.
Right. We've got buffalo, and we've got buffalo chicken salad. What happened?
That's where they showed the entire game. It was not on television. I went through all the channels, and to the point I actually Googled to find out, and it said you had to go to Yahoo, I guess yahoo.com, to even watch the game. And it was over in England. They used to show the game on TV, and now they keep making these partnerships, and then eventually they switch to where you have to go to that website.
Do you think it had anything to do with the teams that were playing that maybe nobody was interested in picking it up? Is that possible?
I think they're slowly getting you.
There's 500,000 cable channels.
Yeah, one of them, TV could have been there. I mean, anybody.
I just think they're slowly getting you to have to buy and purchase sports.
Yeah. It's the only live thing that's going on. Everything else is recorded, so.
And ESPN was honest to elevate their revenue. They are going to do these kind of things. They kind of feel like they have maxed out with subscribers, and so now we have to find unique ways to. And that's what probably 300 of these job cuts was about. We no longer need you 300 people because we're not actually running that division anymore. We're going to send it onto the computer, right? When the computer sending it to a website would cut down on employees.
It's going to cut down on cable, too.
That's what I always tell I tell the bank teller that all the time. Oh, you can go online. I keep thinking, yeah, but if I go online and don't come here and ask for a roll of quarters, eventually you ain't going to be here either. But they keep saying it. You can do it online. You do.
What you say? Keep not wanting to talk to me. Keep on.
and so as a result, ESPN shuffleboard is knocked down. All shuffleboard.
Well, that's
all
the main
time.
reason a lot of people have cable though, is for live sports. So if you can watch it on TV now, I can get rid of my Comcast bill.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. That's how it's going. So Seattle on Thursday night taking on San Francisco, 20-3. Kaepernick the week before showed greatness. Back to this game, he went back to his old ways. Russell Wilson doing enough to get the Seattle Seahawks to 3-4. San Francisco is now 2-5. Early in the week, which was a short week because they played on Thursday. Fred Jackson of the Seahawks had a car accident close to the facility. He wrecked his Corvette. As you can see, Richard Sherman and Lynch, and this is what's so funny with the media. The first report that came out of this was that Marshawn Lynch and Fred Jackson was street racing their cars, and Fred ran into a pole. Marshawn Lynch is always too high, according to Big Kenny, to ever be involved in high-speed street racing. Because he smokes right after practice. Marshawn Lynch said he was passing by and he stopped to help a teammate. He wasn't even on the road with this man.
I wasn't even on the road, boss. I was passing by at 132 miles an hour, and I saw my teammate, who was also traveling approximately about 132 miles an hour, who was also perpendicular to me, and we were riding, and he was screaming, "You don't want none of this," and he lost control accidentally of his car, and he hit a pole, and I stopped to help him.
Oh, man. In Washington, the Redskins, in dramatic fashion, in a game that Tampa at one point was up, I want to say 24-0 on Washington. Washington came back to win 31-30 behind Kirk Cousins. In the waning moments of this game, Jameis Winston having probably his best day as a pro, 21 of 29, 297 yards, 2 TDs, but the most important part of that, he threw no interceptions, and he only got sacked once. So, as I said, these first couple years are going to be touch and go with him. He's 21 years old. So imagine where your 21-year-old son trying to lead a franchise would be. And wait, when he's 24, whatever he's doing at 24, that'll be the player. But right now, it's going to be those up and down days, and he's developing. Kirk Cousins playing just as well. Washington coming back, winning the game at the tail end. That's Kirk Cousins right there, fired up. I told y'all I could get RG3 off the field. I told y'all. That's where's RG.
Like that! You like that!
Yeah, he probably was talking to RG3 right there.
You like that?
He was talking about that selection of meth that he saw. You like that? You like that? That was the pineapple mango flavor. I'll get you some more later. I got to play football now.
Oh, man. And out in San Diego, as we said, 10 tons of marijuana in a tunnel. The Chargers must have been on a little bit of it because the Raiders came in there and beat them 37-29. David Carr looking great, 3 touchdown passes. Phillip Rivers.
The Raiders beating the Chargers was the distraction. They help get the drugs across the board. Everybody like, oh my God, can you believe this? And then, hey, my friend, get into the tunnel right now.
They move after each play.
After each play.
They just keep. Okay, let's run. Then the play over.
And they got what was it? 11 tons.
10 tons.
10 tons. It was probably initially like 83. And,
I was under-cheating it when I said 13?
Yeah, 13. 13 is, I mean, because 13 tons is no big deal anymore. 3 tons, they would just, whatever.
Not a big deal.
Well, the Chargers now are 2-5. The Raiders are 3-3. And the big question I had, Big Kenny and Truth, is why is, Phillip Rivers is basically kind of at the tail end of his career, but it never seemed to be any pressure on him. And sometimes I think people forget Phillip Rivers was the second pick of the draft, correct?
Oh, man, it's California, dude.
Because they switched quarterbacks or something like that, yeah.
I'm just saying, man, there's no pressure in California, man. It's San Diego, and everything's beautiful, man. And you see the whales, and you can go to the winery. Sports Joc, don't bum us out, man. Don't bum us out. You're just asking about pressure and everything. It's a kid's game. Let's just have fun.
Let's play.
Man. Let's just play, man. Hang loose, man. Hang loose.
I'm adding too much pressure onto it.
Too much pressure, man.
It's just football.
Look, don't get caught up in the hundreds of millions of dollars over my career that I've made. Don't cloud the judgment with materialism, man.
Then why do you keep asking for more money each year?
Oh, you're bumming me out, man. I'm just trying to get my hot tub fixed, dude. If I could just get a deep tissue massage and a decent latte, man, I just want to live, okay?
But Phillip, they're paying you. You're the highest paid quarterback in the league, though, Phillip.
And I surf too, man, and I'm also and I'm into organic art. I'm not just about football, dude. You're limiting my chi.
We can tell by your record you're not about football, Phillip. There's no Super Bowl trophies in 12 years.
You want your money back?
See, only the establishment tracks you, man, with all of their statistics to make me feel inadequate. But you're not going to define me, dude.
But Eli has won 2 Super Bowls.
That dude's a sellout, man. He's a sellout to the corporate machine.
But you make more money than Eli, Phillip.
Oh, here you go.
Hey, it's all about creativity, man. I need to develop a brand that everybody can access, okay, dude? You're bumming me out, Sports Joc. You're really being uncool about this, man. You're so uncool.
Well, that's my job. I have to come and ask the tough questions.
Dude, I think that's my therapist calling right now.
I gotta go.
I've gotta go, dude. I've got a 12 o'clock therapy appointment.
He said a deep tissue massage so he could chill out, man. Phillip Rivers, a good quarterback, never really turned the corner. Seems like Super Bowls just might not come his way. The Chargers 2-5. The Raiders, surprisingly, 3-3, and Derek Carr is showing a lot of promise to be the quarterback of their future. We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Woof AM later today. Hear the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy in Dothan, Alabama on the ball, AM 560 and 100.1 FM at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 1 p.m. Central.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. As we said, Monday Night Football is tonight at 8:30. It's the Ravens visiting the Arizona Cardinals. Tomorrow, the Mets in Game 1 will be taking on the Kansas City Royals. This is the 5th time the Mets and their organizational history has been to the World Series. This is the 2nd time in a row for the Kansas City Royals. And tomorrow, the NBA season kicks off at 8 p.m. here in Atlanta. The Pistons will be visiting the Hawks, also on TNT, which means that the Detroit-Atlanta game won't get any coverage by anybody. I'll just have to tell people because they'll be telling me about the Cavs and the Bulls at 8 and the Pelicans and Golden State at 10:30. Before we bring on our guest, Joe Varden, the Cleveland.com NBA reporter, we'd like to say our condolences to the Saunders family. Lip Saunders loses his cancer battle, dies at age 60, back in August. the report came out that Flip and the doctors felt like he could beat this, and he has lost his battle. 17 years as an NBA head coach. Flip Saunders, Timberwolves, the Pistons, teams like that. From all the reports I read, he was a player's coach. Players love to play for him, and he will be missed by the NBA community out on the court. As I said, the Cavs, there's no bigger name in basketball than the King. He is trying to get on the throne once again, coming off his back shots, missing the last 2 weeks of the preseason, but he went back to practice, and he is raring to go. Derrick Rose is supposed to be in this game also tomorrow night, and we have Cleveland.com NBA reporter Joe Barton on the line. Good morning to you, Joe.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for calling in. I'm just going to put you on the spot. Will the Cavs win the championship this year?
Yeah, let's start.
Sure.
You know what? I think so. And I explain it this way. The team that I saw play in February, March, and April of last year, to me, was the best team in the NBA. And they were darn near good enough to win in June, missing 2 of their 3 best players. They went out this summer and made that core group from the months I just named a little bit better, a little bit deeper, and I think that they will get a chance to prove me right in June. They'll be healthy, they'll get there, and they'll win.
And when I look at the team, and you tell me, Joe, I thought with Anderson Varejao coming back is really that component that is getting overlooked, to be able to have that kind of size and height and energy back on the court.
Yeah, that's a great point. And he's very injury prone, so he's one of the guys that you really have to wait and see. However, coming into the season, I had totally written him off. I had him as the 5th big man, barely playing at all, looking to move his contract as we get down the line, because with that Achilles injury, it's just hard to come back from in basketball. And he was certainly one of the very pleasant surprises in an otherwise dismal training camp for the Cavs because of all these injuries. He looks great. And if he can give them, 8 to 10 minutes a night as that 4th big man, and, even maybe a little more early on as Mozgov kind of comes back from knee surgery that he had over the off season, that'll really, that's a plus that I don't think they were counting on.
Yeah, and it seems in the NBA you definitely need those 4 or 5 bench players so you can feel like regardless of who's hurt, I can still win a game till that person gets back. When you look at LeBron and this team, are they accepting of Tristan Thompson coming back, or is it going to be one of those things that he hasn't earned their trust again?
No, I don't think it's a trust factor. But he wasn't out on the floor with them at all during the preseason, nor did he participate in LeBron's sort of pre-camp there in Miami in September. So while everybody else has at least been looking at each other for the last month, whether or not they've practiced together, that's another issue. But they've at least been in the building and buildings and, kind of working towards something, whereas Tristan is kind of coming in cold. So it's just going to be a matter of rebuilding that familiarity. I don't know what Tristan's win looks like. We only see the very, very, very tail end of practice. So when everyone throws on the tube tomorrow night and sees Tristan come off the bench, I will be joining them in watching him for the first time really do anything this year.
Gotcha. Big Kenny.
Good morning. This is Big Kenny, Joe. If they don't win it this year, how long does this group stay together before people start poaching the Loves and the Irvings to go to other markets?
Well, I mean, from a lose guys via free agency perspective, that's not going to happen to this team for a really long time. Kyrie Irving's in year 1 of a 5-year extension. Kevin Love signed a 5-year deal. Tristan's a 5-year deal. Shumpert's a 4-year deal. So there's your core. Now, of course, I haven't named LeBron yet. He is the year-to-year guy, but he really is. His roots are in Cleveland.
He's sort of reshaped his rapidly expanding business empire on the notion that he is a Northeast Ohio guy. His brand would take a huge hit if he left here again. And he can make the most money here. And, of course, barring these injuries, they've built a team that can win for him here. So, I don't think that's an issue. The more pressing thing is just LeBron's durability and, how much he has left. I mean, you saw him play in the finals last year, and he was the best player on the floor. I don't think that's a question. But then you consider he's already had a second shot in his back since January 1. He missed 2 weeks. He's talking about a third shot sometime during the year. So, when you start talking about back injuries, that's scary stuff. So the Cavs, on the one hand, you can see how their window is going to be wide open for 3 to 5 years. And on the other hand, you could say, boy, they better win now or next year because, you don't know if LeBron's going to stay right.
Yeah, we saw 3 huge stars in their career, Tracy McGrady, Larry Johnson, and Larry Bird, all get to about double-digit years, and then their back goes out, and they were just shell of what they used to be. The city of Cleveland, because you just mentioned about $500 million worth of money in contract. Is this why the city of Cleveland is trying to tax teams for coming into Cleveland and play?
That is that's a whole nother matter. It's working its way.
He had to check with the mayor's office for that answer. It's like
what? It's funny. I came up as a sports writer, but then I took about 6 years to cover state and national politics for various outlets, and so I can talk about this if you'd like, but. The bottom line is that they're not really supposed to be doing that, and the courts have ruled against the city, and that they're going to have to be cutting checks because of wrongful taxation. But that's a sore subject here in Cleveland from the idea of all the money going towards sports already, and the owners ask for more of public tax dollars every year. I'm sure you deal with similar situations down there.
Yeah, I was about to say, Joe, we're in Atlanta, so we're used to government corruption around here, local corruption.
We don't call it corruption. We call it Southern hospitality.
It's just the way we do things.
Real quickly, if you had to pick a team that Cleveland is going to play in the Eastern Finals, who would that team be?
I picked the Heat. And I loved what Atlanta did last year. I'm concerned about losing DeMarre Carroll. I thought he was the glue. I know they replaced him with Piago, but I just thought that DeMarre just gave them that extra gear. And you saw what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals when he was banged up. I mean, they didn't have a chance. And so I'm wondering if they're going to take a step back. And I'm buying, maybe foolishly so, this idea that Riley has rebuilt the roster sufficient enough to contend in the East. But I'm going to tell you, not to win, not to make the finals necessarily, but just keep your eye on Boston. I really like what's going on with Brad Stevens. I love that young, talented roster. They brought in Amir Johnson, for a little bit of extra defensive grit there. And I think they have some flexibility on the roster too. They can make a deal if they needed to. So I don't know. That's kind of my sleeper team. But I think everyone right now sees this as a Cleveland league, and you can't. The thing that derails that is injury. So.
And if I'm going to call FanDuel, should I say Cleveland versus Spurs or Cleveland versus Golden State?
I like the Warriors. But it's tough to pick against the Spurs after going out and getting LaMarcus Aldridge. That's pretty good. But I do like the Warriors. I like the brand of basketball that they play. And for a defending champ, they've got more of a chip on their shoulder than is the norm. I saw Steph Curry this summer and tried to ask him a question about LeBron. And by that point already, he was so sick and tired of having to give, LeBron or Cleveland or whoever any kind of, credit or tip of the cap for playing despite injury. I mean, he is upset that he's almost having to apologize for winning, for beating a team in the finals that was as wounded as the Cavs were. And so he's looking to prove it again.
All right, Joe, thank you for calling in and helping us out, and we'll keep it out of the mayor's office that you told on them.
Thanks, Joe.
Sure, have a great week.
All right, Joe Varden, Cleveland.com, NBA reporter for the Cavs, Big Kenny, Truth. I think that without Kyrie Irving and without Kevin Love, people feel like the Warriors won a title, a soft title. Kind of like when the Spurs, not saying that they're not going to be a great team, but you remember when the Spurs won, when Tim Duncan won that first title, it was on a short season. So nobody was, he had to go make people believers that he could really be what he has become, because people kept saying, yeah, it was just 50 games, so that's why you won. I think that's how people see Golden State's championship, but I do believe that it will come down to the Spurs and old Tim, man, and the Warriors. We'll be back. More of the Sports Joc Show right after this.
Don't miss the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy's Ocean segment at the end of the show. Who will be thrown in the ocean this week? Vote for your ocean candidate at sportsjoc.com.
Now back to the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy.
Enough is enough! I have had it! Why so serious? And we hold the world ransom for Wayne Gandy. Excuse me while I whip this out. Show me the
Broadcasting live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
You may build me up, yeah, can you build me up, yeah, you won't break me down, I've come so far, yeah, I've come so far, yeah, just throw in the towel, it's a new day, I'm a do it, yeah, I'm gonna go all the way, you may build me up.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy. It is the last Monday, as we said, in the great year of 2015, on record to be the hottest year ever in the United States of America. I guess some of those reports that global warming is really going on. They say at the pace that it is, this will be deemed the hottest year ever. But it is 11 o'clock. I'm going to let Big Kenny out of his monkey cage so he can attack Dez Bryant the whole last hour. Just Dez Bryant bashing. But we thank Joe Varden, Cleveland.com NBA reporter. It's always good to ask a reporter something where they have to well, then, I don't really want to go there. I used to work for the State Department. I did fall asleep at my post, but since you're going to ask me that. But good to hear that. As he said, Cleveland looking poised with a lot of talent. And it was shocking he said the Heat. And Chris I have to wait till the mic come on because I can't get my smack. I'll get him. I'll set him up in just a second. But he said the Heat was a surprise team. I got to look at their roster. I know Amari Stoudemire went down there to come off the bench. I got to see what else they have going on. The NBA season kicks off tomorrow. World Series kicks off tomorrow. This past weekend here, after I left the Georgia Tech Florida State game, I did make my way over to Phillips Arena, caught the comedy show. Some of Big Kenny's partners in crime over there telling jokes. I was able to still catch said entertainer and D.L. Hughley at the end. They had George Lopez hosting, and Eddie Griffin. I thought he was in prison. And Charlie Murphy, I think he might have shingles because he was looking a little Trick Daddy Dollar. I don't know what disease that is, but is that what it is? Oh, and nobody's talking about it? Oh, okay. He looked like walking death, and not trying to be funny. It was just very surprising to see him look like that. And because, he always, his career just looked like Eddie with a little darker skin and a mustache. He really looks like he's ill. And that was just from him walking on the stage at the end because I did not get to see him perform. But it was a funny show. good to see those guys, and all of them 50 now, so their brand of comedy has changed. But it was a nice crowd, and good to see them in action. Before we go on, before I bring my co-host back on, I would like to show, because we were talking about LeBron James, Rick Ross, the hip-hop artist. He's redoing Evander Holyfield house, which I thought he had to put it up for bond. So I don't know how that worked. Didn't he have to bond out with the house or something like this? Huh? Oh, you had to keep it? What if I end up running over then the 4 kids? Okay, so somebody might inherit this picture of LeBron that he is putting on his basketball court. But he is putting a picture of LeBron up on the wall in his court so he can dream. He wish he had LeBron abs. He wish he had LeBron's all that, you know. That wing stop won't get you up to that rim. He loves to say he got a lot of wing stops, but Rick Ross, I wonder if he's going to beat that case. He did beat that guy. I don't know what kind of time you get for actually pistol whipping people anymore, but that part is true. It's not like a subjective part. He put the pistol to him. I guess he's going to try to prove something else in the case. But I have my co-host here, Big Kenny, the funny man himself, Chicago's finest. He has a picture of Serena over his bed. It ain't even on his basketball court. It's just a picture of Serena. You can't see her face, but if you know her body from the back, you can tell. It is her.
Me beating that man with that pistol is just a ledge.
And the truth is in the building. You like the picture of LeBron up on the court?
Yeah, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
He could have
come. Who would you put on
with the constipation face? Why LeBron got the constipation face? He can't have the gee, this is great. We won the game. He got the.
Well, it's about era too. I would have had Michael Jordan. You know,
Jordan.
Yeah.
Big Kenny. Who would you? Who was Jordan your favorite basketball player? Who was your favorite basketball player as a teenager, not as an adult? Like, who was you really feeling?
You know, old history, way back when you was young.
I kind of like dudes like the Bill Lambiers and the Larry Birds, just kind of no nonsense.
Really old.
Oh, okay, that right.
Karl Malone.
Just dudes that play basketball. John Stockton.
That lunch pail style.
Lunch pail with a napkin and, boiled egg with a salt and pepper shaker inside the lunch pail. What you got? Black coffee and a boiled egg. All right. You getting fancy today, huh? Yeah. Just those kind of players.
Yeah, that lunch pail, because you knew you never had to have that feeling whether you thought they were going to be serious or not. You knew whatever they had in them, they were going to give you today.
Yeah, never have to worry about Bill Lambier Jr. at Halloween. You know what I mean?
Well, Russell Wilson on his break, trying to show his love to his girlfriend, threw her a party.
He's married now, isn't he?
Did they get married? I know he threw her a party.
Did they get married?
Yeah, they got married.
She's Catwoman, and that's him in the Batman outfit. I don't know who the guy is in the Punisher outfit. They had celebrities like Beyonce there and different people. To Sierra's
Storm
30th birthday party out in L.A. As me and Big Kenny said, it's funny, but your record is you're 3-4. You can barely win football games, but you seem to be doing what you want. This is what you wanted. You're dating her with a purpose.
Oh, you said. I was thinking Russell Westbrook.
No, Russell Wilson.
Well,
I didn't recognize him with the mask.
What about Sierra?
I recognize her from the front.
But that was her 30th birthday party out in...
And she's just 30. That seems like a lot of miles on 30 years old.
Oh, that's cruel.
Yeah, well, Bow Wow introduced her to us when she was 18.
And then passed on the future.
So that's why it seems so long. It's like LeBron. By the time you stop saying LeBron's name on a basketball court,
he's still going to be 31.
He'll be getting your AARP. I mean, he's only 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 30. He'd be like 31, I think, by the end of the year, but he could easily play another 9 years like Kobe. It seemed like Kobe, there was never not a Kobe. That's how long he's been in the league, 20 years. So this will make, I think, for Kobe or his 19th, something like that, and he's only 38. So it's the same thing with LeBron. He plays another 9 years.
It's a whole nother generation of fans.
Yeah.
And seriously.
Because even our greats, I think Kareem is really the only, him and Karl Malone are the only greats that played that long. Mike and most of those guys hit about 14, 15, and they left. There are a couple of long tooth people. Magic only played 12 because of the situation, but he was 32.
He calls it the situation.
That's so politically correct. What situation is that? Sports Joc.
Did his car get towed? Did he spill something on his shirt?
What situation is that, Sports
They
Joc?
gave him the wrong order?
You have to leave some stuff people to research.
No, you do not.
He didn't get no silverware with his takeout meal?
The situation that he had came upon.
They gave him a latte and he wanted espresso.
Oh, you mean that son? That's a situation.
No. That's going to do him in. I'm talking about the situation that he brought to the forefront to
He
society.
was trying to renegotiate a contract?
The divorce?
What situation you keep talking about? This mysterious situation.
He refuses to say.
Speaking of birthdays of last week, Bootsy Collins, 64, Bob Knight.
Baby.
Bob Knight, the head coach, Indiana Greatness, 75. Robinson Cano, 33. Judge Judy, 73. Zach Greinke, 32. Princess Leia, 59 years old. Carrie Fisher. Amber Rose, 32. Miguel, 30. Ryan Reynolds, 39. Pele, 75. Heath Miller of the Steelers, 33. Doug Flutie, the miracle throw, Boston College versus Miami back in 83. Doug Flutie is now 53. Hillary Clinton, 68. Hillary Clinton, 68. Kim Kardashian, 35. Sierra, as I said, 30. Nancy Grace, 56. Katy Perry, 31. Y.A. Tillo, 89. Monica, 35. Pedro, still got a Jerry curl. No, you don't have his Jerry curl anymore. 44 years old. Pedro Martinez. Monte Ellis, 30. Seth MacFarlane, 42. Craig Robinson, 44. Snoop Dogg, 44. And Drizzy Drake had his 29th birthday last week. That was the birthdays of last week.
Magic couldn't make it to Drake's birthday party because of his situation.
He's still on.
Did he open a new Starbucks?
It's a situation. What y'all call it?
Bankruptcy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did he file for bankruptcy?
You know, when he stopped having to play basketball.
Did he merge with Time Warner?
He couldn't play basketball no more. So we're going to go to break because he had a situation come up. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back, talk to our man Doug
Is
Fireball.
he studying for his accountant's license?
It's just a second.
They did cancel his auto insurance?
I'm working with him, Truth. I'm doing the best I can, voiceovers and everything. I'm only getting paid one check, but it's just voiceovers and everything around here. But welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy, sitting here with the Truth and the funny man himself, Big Kenny.
Next time I'll do that. It's the Players Lounge with Sports Joc Wayne Gandy.
We got our main man on the line, Talladega, a lot of crashes, and he was there, and he sent us the pictures to make sure we knew. These are the pictures that he sent to his wife as well to justify that he had taken the trip down to Alabama. Good morning to you, Fireball.
Hey, what's going on? Just here in the nick of time.
So let's start with Kevin Harvick. Did he crash his car after the restart, or you look like he did? That smile says he really did.
Well, it's tough to say exactly what happened there. The real controversial part about Kevin Harvick, to me, is why he was still on the racetrack. So the way the race ended is NASCAR reduced its amount of extra finishes at the end because they try to ensure races finish under green flag. They said they were only going to have one green, white, checkered finish in this race because at races like Talladega and Daytona, the field is so bunched up. There's so many people that wreck, it could be so dangerous that they wanted to try to limit the amount of times that could happen. Well, right as they were going for their first green, white, checkered finish, a wreck broke out before the start-finish line, and NASCAR threw the caution. Well, they said, hey, that doesn't count as our attempt. We get a do-over since we didn't actually take the green flag. So they racked them all up again. But during that restart, that first restart there that I mentioned, Kevin Harvick's car didn't go, and he knew there was a problem with it before that restart happened, and he pulled out of line. But then NASCAR froze the field so they could start the race again, and a few laps later, the same thing happened. Harvick, who had a problem with his race car, this time didn't get it out of line as quickly, and what it seemed to do on the replay is that he stayed in line, waited for a car to go around him, that being the number 6 of Trevor Bayne, and then Harvick kind of nosed up the track and spun Bayne out, and that caused another crash right as the field took the green flag. Thus, NASCAR froze the field, and Harvick kept his position. The spots that he would have lost would have knocked him out of the chase, but instead he was able to maintain position and advance. Denny Hamlin, who got eliminated from the chase, Trevor Bayne, who got wrecked by Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, who got eliminated from the chase, and Matt Kenseth, who also got eliminated from the chase, all went to NASCAR and complained, their team representatives did, complained that they said Harvick not only had a problem, but he also seemed to intentionally cause a caution to save his butt. And NASCAR made the judgment that as of right now, nothing crazy has happened. This situation, guys, is very similar to what happened, and we talked about it right here on the show 2 years ago at Richmond International Raceway, where the race before the chase started, Martin Truex Jr.'s teammate Clint Boyer spun out on purpose to try to freeze the field and give Martin Truex Jr. a chance to gain some positions and make the chase. In that instance, NASCAR, after that race was over a couple of days later, ruled that indeed the results had been manipulated. Truex Jr. was taken out of the chase, and Ryan Newman and Jeff Gordon were added into the chase field in what was a really mixed up thing. I have no idea what NASCAR is going to do, but a lot of people seem to tell me they don't think they're going to rule anything and that Kevin Harvick was just doing what he had to do.
I was going to ask you, Fireball, just like in the NFL, the NBA, even Major League Baseball with review, is it possible to prove this? What kind of evidence would they need to prove whether he did it or not?
I think they need to listen to his radio transmission, number one, and then I think also they need to look at the video and see what happened. The replays that I saw on TV, and I was at the racetrack, but when you see the wreck breakout, it's tough to see exactly how it transpired. But after the race, I saw some replays on TV that sure looked like Kevin Harvick, who knowingly had a problem and did not get black flagged by NASCAR, which to me is the most ludicrous part of this whole thing, but Kevin Harvick seemed to nose up the racetrack and spin Trevor Bayne. If you listen on Kevin Harvick's radio, the team decided, hey, we know we've got a problem. We're going to stay in this race and hope that the field wrecks. And there was some two-way communication on that team radio that NASCAR could go back and listen to, and maybe between that and the video and what other drivers are saying, including Trevor Bayne, who got spun by Harvick, they could put it together. NASCAR's in a tough position. Kevin Harvick has by far been the best driver in the Sprint Cup Series this season, except for maybe the exception of Joey Logano, who just won this Talladega race, his third win in a row, by the way. And he's the defending Sprint Cup Series champion, too. So it's a really tough call for NASCAR to make because you're talking about an elite driver who very well could win this championship. And if they rule against him, that means they're going to take him out of the championship, I'm sure. And that's really going to ruffle some feathers. It's kind of one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't situations.
Well, let me ask you this. So who makes this call? Is this Kevin? Is it Kevin or is it the guy that's running the pit crew? Who says let's do this movement? Is it like a head coach? Like sometimes a player gets blamed for what a coach actually called.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I think in Harvick's case, he knew what he had to do, and I don't think anybody had to tell him. I think that when they were talking on his team radio, and I was listening, I was at Talladega listening to that team radio, and I went up after the race and talked to Harvick afterwards, asking him what was wrong with his car. So, I mean, I didn't gather at the time that it was intentional, just listening to it. I never heard anything myself from the parts that I listened to live that anything happened intentionally. The only thing I knew they intentionally did is they knew they had a problem that could put other people in danger of wrecking by staying on the track. Their car wouldn't go. It essentially, when it went through the gears, would just sputter out, okay? They could run around under caution and keep their position, but once they went through the gears, the motor wouldn't get up into full song. So they made a conscious decision to stay out on the track and bunch other people up or try to hold their spot. And NASCAR, meanwhile, was told by the team, Trevor Baynes, that he wrecked before they ever wrecked, laps before it, that car's spitting oil on the track. NASCAR earlier in the race had black flagged other people for having problems, including Denny Hamlin, whose roof hatch came undone on the car. David Reagan was laying down oil. Casey Mears had a damaged car. All those people got black flagged, had to go to the pits to fix it, and they did not black flag Harvick ever. They didn't black flag him when they first heard about him leaking oil, or when he got out of line on that first restart and obviously had a problem. They let him stay in the race, and whether he meant to wreck anybody or not, the decision for them to let him stay in the race caused a wreck, and it changed the outcome of the finish. By the way, at the finish, Joey Logano and Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joey Logano was the leader. They started right next to each other. If they'd had 2 laps to complete the race like they should have, Earnhardt Jr. could have not only won the race, but also advanced to NASCAR's championship. Instead, much to the chagrin of Junior Nation, who was in full force at Talladega this weekend, Earnhardt Jr. finished second and will not be in the playoffs any longer.
So now when you ever hear me refer to Kevin Harvick as Jack Bauer, so basically saying
Yeah.
he was out there just doing whatever he
He
wanted.
wrote the Miley Cyrus Wrecking Ball song. He really liked that, I'm sure.
It sounds like part of it is NASCAR's fault as well if they didn't call the car out.
Well, that's kind of my point. I'm working on a blog post I'm going to put up on GoPRN.com, the Performance Racing Network, which is essentially saying that is you could split hairs and say whether Harvick wrecked the number 6 of Trevor Bayne intentionally and set off a multi-car wreck to end the race, but NASCAR shouldn't have left him on the track.
Right.
I mean, that's exactly the point I wanted to make there. So, and it's really too bad because Dale Earnhardt Jr. came back from 3 different problems that took him out of the lead in that race to slice through the field and go up there and battle with Joey Logano. The 2 best cars could have duked it out and what would have been just an absolutely incredible finish. And instead, they never even got the race restarted. Essentially, as soon as they passed the start-finish line, the field right behind them and the race was over. So that was a really unfortunate ending. And by the way, the fans showed their displeasure, as you might expect, guys, by chucking beer cans full of beer onto the track as Joe Logano was doing his burnout.
NASCAR and chucking beer.
I love NASCAR fans.
Well, full beer cans. You know that's anger.
Hey, it happened in
That's
It happened
anger
in
with full
Toronto
beer
or Kansas City too, didn't it? So in baseball, I guess it transcends sports. Happened here in Atlanta 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when they had that no infield fly rule of the Braves game too.
We can get.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
would just,
Last question before I let you go, Fireball. Will there be any backlash? Will this?
Oh man,
in the next,
that's
in the
tough
next
to say.
race on the
First
court?
off,
I mean,
Matt
on the
Kenseth, who
track.
got eliminated in the chase, is already mad at Joey Logano for spinning him out to win the race back at Kansas last week. And so I think Kenseth already owes Joey Logano one, especially now that Kenseth's not in the chase anymore. But also at Martinsville, you got to think, which is a short track, a great place to retaliate against the driver. You got to think this coming week that people are going to also have their eyes on Harvick too, because whatever NASCAR decides about this, if they decide anything else, Harvick's got a big target on him and kind of, in my opinion, a tainted advancement in the playoffs. So I think he's become a bad guy, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if Denny Hamlin or Matt Kenseth found Kevin Harvick or Ryan Newman and decided to give him the old chrome horn there and show him their displeasure.
I've been waiting for Days of Thunder too. I've been waiting on.
You might see it, okay? You saw if you saw the ending of that race at Kansas last week, where Logano turned Kenseth out of the lead with 4 laps to go. That was pretty darn close.
Getting back to the real NASCAR. This
There
is
you
real NASCAR. But thank you, Fireball, for calling in and helping us with the show.
Always great to be on with y'all. Hope you have a great week. Thank you.
Doug Fireball Turnbull, NASCAR. That's how it used to be. Hey, get out the way. You know, shake and bake and get on out the way. If you
Don't
can't
you
move.
put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
It's such a gangster
But in a
sport.
case like this where you knocked me out, because I was always wondering, why do you keep racing? It's not like they take you out the race. You just fall out the standings, but then you still race. Then I just come up here, give you a little quick nudge, and, you know.
Tear up $8 million worth of cars.
Basically, you know, and get you out the point standing. And I would be very surprised if we're not sitting here next week reporting on somebody wreck somebody out, and then they do that little out when they get out the car, because don't none of them throw a real punch. You know?
It's just a foul. I mean, you know.
You brute.
So NASCAR Talladega Fireball Turnbull, we thank you for calling in, Jack Bauer. You see, because I always wondered in NASCAR who makes the call on stuff, and I was, you know, something like this, who goes tell you to hit the bumper,
deflate the ball. Whose call is
Can,
right?
Can you imagine what the water cooler talk is this morning in Talladega? Man, getting in and come around there, and they spunked him out, man. They go down that thing. they jerk him, and then they come through. He got in the Harvick, he can come up there and spank them, and they woo, NASCAR got a plum mess on their hands, man.
We'll be back on the Sports Joc Show right after this.
King of the Hill.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc Show. I'm the Sports Joc, Wayne Gandy. We'd like to thank our man Doug Fireball Turnbull for calling in. NASCAR sprint chase going on hot and heavy. Big Kenny, Truth, interesting story. Rider University, they suspended their entire cross-country male team because they caught them about to do the naked mile. A couple of weeks ago, and they suspended him. This happened in early September. The team consisted of 28 members, and it was supposedly part of a hazing, but all the people were participating, so they can't really take them down under a hazing act per se. But isn't this just college though? Like, I mean, the naked mile. I mean, it was, Van Wilder was in it. I mean, he pulled his little golf cart in and jumped right up in it.
All right, you guys are going to do the naked mile. It's a strong tradition. And after you do the naked mile, one by one, you'll come into my room. Then we're going to do naked Greco-Roman style wrestling. We're going to use oil.
A university men's cross-country team...
And we're going to mix it with Bikram hot yoga. And we're going to be sweaty and oily in wrestling.
It's the cross-country
team.
So
all 28 people were...
Yes, they suspended the team.
In the 70s, that was called streaking.
Yeah,
we saw it, and Will Ferrell went streaking, and it's been in a classic move.
We saw it everywhere.
Y'all, would you have suspended them for that?
No.
Or just made them do it in front of the whole campus. I mean, that would have been like during actual school hours, not at the track.
Well, it's no different than papering the trees or whatever else you do. Is
right. So America, we can show it on television, but you can't.
After the naked mile, the paper and the trees might be a little bit different. Might look a little different.
I did read that. Remember, the lady tried to sue Derrick Rose and said that. He raped her, him and his friends. Derrick Rose filed a countersuit saying that the girl consented to, and that wasn't the first time. She had consented to group sex a couple of times, and she got mad because Derrick would not replace her sex toy that she had brought, and it broke. And that's what started the whole incident. This is what Derrick Rose put in his countersuit.
It was about a vibrator.
I said, I don't know what they call it.
What kind of work you got to be doing?
The smoke starts coming out.
I think she's heating up, Captain. She's gonna blow. Give her more gas, Scotty.
Well, I'm glad he just didn't let it go. He came back. He's like, no. The truth is,
that was in part of his countersuit.
I'm not mad.
I'm just reading because I know he over there like, man, we're pushing the envelope. That's what was in the document.
Let's say this is what happened, man. Harvick come around there, and he's about to throw a gear out in there. You throw it in neutral, that thing just keep coasting. Because he just locked it up in there, and then his transmission went slipping, and he's going to go, just jam it in there, in there. And the thing had slipped and then wouldn't go back in the gear. And then she tried to say me and my friends done raped her.
Well, that was part of his countersuit that he filed on October the 1st.
Oh, I hope he wins. Good.
It came down to that, and she got upset, so she decided to take this. So we'll see.
The sad news
how
is,
this works.
what kind of prowess do these men have where she's having group sex with you and your
y'all
friends
still
and
need
still
toys.
need a toy? You know what I mean? Somebody sleep on.
Hey.
Because Derek's probably in the mirror like, my eyebrows just don't look right.
Maybe she was using it.
Hey, stop.
We'll just move on.
And then she was on some, this ain't doing nothing for me. I'm a sue.
I tell you. Dallas Cowboy owner Jerry Jones, I don't think I knew, maybe you did, he is one of the investors in DraftKings. Did y'all know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know that until this weekend. I did know that. I figured it was some power players behind it for how quickly the NFL and everybody involved in football got behind it
and embraced it. That's
I mean,
right.
every other commercial is FanDuel or DraftKings. I'm like, wow, the NFL is just all in on this gambling.
And they literally are all in.
But
Isn't
the
that some
second
kind of conflict?
hold on, the second rule in the handbook behind guns said no gambling.
Right.
I mean, but they all in on it. So very interesting.
But I told you the story of how when he first tried to get in the NFL, Jerry Jones was going to borrow money from Teamster boss Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't because of advice from his father. But now the owner of DraftKings is a guy named Hemi Jaffa, and he's back in business with Jerry Jones. So
there's got to be a conflict, though. I would think.
I heard that him and Robert Kraft both have stakes in either DraftKings or FanDuel. So you always wonder why they sold. That's why I keep telling you. That's why NFL is
look. To hell with all this deflating balls. Let's just rig the gambling thing. Let's just do that. Let's just get our hands in the gambling, and then we'll get money from everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of money, and whenever you see, I'm always saying on this show now, it's a point to why they support in the way they do. And it's not always because they're looking at it like, yeah, we're for that, as much as it is, yeah, we're for our pocket.
Yeah, we're a part of it.
And everything is going to come up rosy on our end in making money. And so I just thought that was interesting because I didn't know either one of those I didn't know owners could do that.
Yeah, betting against the sport you play, so Pete Rose can now be going to the Hall of Fame.
See, that's what Pete was saying.
Yeah.
Pete was telling Big Kenny when they used to talk.
He's like, everybody's doing it.
Hey, look, Pete's saying everybody's doing it, and my cousin that went to prison for weed is like, 13 tons? Really? In a tunnel in San Diego.
There's some vindication out there.
Here in Atlanta, Phillips Arena has been almost approved of a $250 million, the new owner wrestler of the Hawks, Kasim Reed, the mayor, is saying that he is going to give him the $250 million to upgrade Phillips Arena.
So they can have a DraftKings pub and a FanDuel lounge.
Yeah.
The FanDuel lounge at Phillips Arena.
Oh man, that's where everybody will be.
Sponsored by the Hawks.
Playing blackjack or something. It'd be just full on gambling in a second.
With the African basketball player, like, I have genuine purses. Yes, these are genuine purses.
Taylor Swift was over at the Georgia Dome. Did any of y'all go over to the Georgia Dome to check out Taylor Swift?
Hell yeah. I was there.
And Adele. Y'all like Adele?
Yeah, she's back.
She's back.
I love it. That was been like a 3-year hiatus.
She's been gone a while because she had to turn around.
Turning tables.
And she just had to spin around.
I'm glad she's back. That's a great voice. Great
look at the bad producer trying to find some Adele over there. You don't have. She wasn't in the 80s. No, it's not in the 80s, so you can't find her.
You see that disappointed look on his face? She wasn't in the 80s. Well, of course, then she didn't exist.
OKC got dressed up for Halloween. KD, Westbrook, some of the guys for their team. Let's see their picture, what characters they're going as. There we go. Who is Russell Westbrook? That's Russell Westbrook being Russell Westbrook, isn't it? Number 12? What?
Yeah, that's
not a unique outfit.
Lack of creativity.
What about all them funny clothes you wear?
This guy with the vegetable tattoo and everything. Whoever this guy
is. Yeah, he should have just wore an outfit that he wears, and then he would have been dressed up. And then that's Steve
He is very
Adams.
clown-like sometimes.
That's Steve Adams as the Joker. Right there. If you remember the Joker in The Dark Knight when he went to visit Two-Face.
Who's the dude in the velour sweatsuit? Go back. Who's that?
That was Kevin Durant.
Kevin
Oh,
Durant.
okay, I see.
He as Martin Lawrence from Border Patrol. Blue Streak, right.
Delivering the pizzas, and I don't know who the guy with the beard in the corner in the yellow shirt.
Oh, Forrest Gump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when he was running.
Oh,
okay.
when he
With the beard.
ran.
I see.
Okay, he would have to tell people that. Nobody
Yeah.
would get it. The rest of them are more.
Because Forrest Gump is no longer a relevant movie.
Well, I guess does the hat say like Bubba Gump or something on it? Oh, okay, I would get it if I saw the Bubba Gump.
Gotcha. So we
Okay.
have, I can't tell who that is. I know that's Steve Adams as a Joker. That's Kevin Durant as Martin Lawrence. And that is Russell Westbrook being somebody number 12 for Oklahoma City. Steven Adams.
The player.
The dude that's dressed like the Joker.
Right. See, you get it? You get it?
Boo! that ain't even original, Big Kenny. What grades you give him on that costume? That is not.
I think it's ghastly.
It's like a C+.
No, there's no points. It's karaoke of costume.
He should have put some blackface on and went as Kevin Durant. That's who he wants to be.
But see, but then all the liberals and the hippies and the dog lovers and the homosexuals will come out and protest.
It'd be a situation.
Oh, see y'all back.
Is it appropriate to call the boy lovers homosexuals? Because I don't want to cross over into no uncharted territory. Because you know all the buddy bumpers and all of them gonna come out and have something to say. The Brittany Grinders and all of them.
Said the Brittany Grinders.
Group the whole group of people
I'm
under
just
one
saying,
name.
Russell Westbrook is known for his flamboyant dressing, so you would imagine that he would come a little more original than going in the Steven Adams locker and getting Steven Adams jersey.
Because essentially he's a
Russell
costume
Westbrook's
designer.
known for his flamboyant dressing. You know, Paul Newman's got him a dressing too.
We'll be back more of the Sports Joc Show as the producer looks up Adele right after this.
Don't miss the Sports Joc Wayne Gandy's Ocean segment at the end of the show. Who will be thrown in the ocean this week? Vote for your ocean candidate at thesportsjoc.com.
This man plays nothing to hype you up, boy. It's just like some...
I don't even know what that is.
Nobody knows what it is.
I'm all out
That's
of love. I'm so lost without you.
Welcome back to the Sports Joc
That's
Show.
him DJing at the strip club. Coming next to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Juicy. And she comes out with... Sailing like a rhinestone cowboy.
Oh, man. Deshaun Jackson of the Washington Redskins, as I told you, the Redskins came back and beat the Bucks, being down 24 points. His house was broken into out in L.A. He was not there. The police suspect gang involvement. There was someone in the house when the attack happened. It got very violent. The person was pistol whipped. As you know, since Deshaun has been in the league, especially when he was in Philly, there were a couple of times after plays, people felt that he was throwing up gang signs. So law enforcement say that 4 to 5 people stormed the home with guns. And the one person that was in the home was pistol whipped. So we'll be waiting on further details on that. But Deshaun Jackson was not at home at the time. We can't laugh at that.
They have further details from the guy that was there. He said, "Mom."
Because, we sit and sometimes we think athletes have passed that phase in their life, especially when they make it to the NFL. But after that Georgia Tech basketball player that was with the Wizards was here locally, Creaton or Cryington, he was part of some drive-by trying to initiate himself, and he got in some trouble at the Wizards with Gilbert Arenas, where they pulled guns in the locker room, and then like a year later, he got involved with that shooting where I think the girl was like 22, 23 years old, mistakenly got shot. They were shooting at someone else, and he's facing huge, maybe life in prison from that.
Hey, we finna go do this drive-by. I want to be down. I want to be in this gang. That's right. We finna do this drive-by. Hold on, this is my agent. Hold on. Turn the music down. Turn the music down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I got an endorsement deal. All right. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I just got the endorsement deal. Now turn over here. We gonna smoke this food.
And let go of all of that. Just lose it.
So that's what I'm saying. It sounds crazy to think
Ignorant is what it sounds.
But because you think, oh, no, this man is not, wouldn't, he would have left that affiliation behind. And then something like that happened. Like, oh, y'all still seeking that out? Like Big Kenny is basically saying.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be without an agent. But when you start talking about, I got some people to call and them people don't, speak Spanish, then, maybe you'll drop and leave that stuff behind, But once again, Deshaun Jackson in the news for something other than catching touchdowns because he's been hurt all season. Hopefully he'll get on the field. He's bored.
Yeah.
Too much time on his hands.
Too much time.
Just rehab and hang with RG3.
Need him some real
which
life.
would bore him anyway. Hang with RG3 probably.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting because of what I see on TV or because of where the Sports Joc lives. But don't he have a security gate at his house or something like that? I mean, why are these people always getting? I mean, four people busting to your house. Now, one dude might be able to get past the gate on some. I'm delivering bottled water. All right, go ahead through then. I'm delivering fertilizer. Oh, okay, sir. You go. And then they start running out of stuff. I'm delivering. Hey, what was I supposed to be delivering? We have suspicious activity. Yeah. We have suspicious activity, and then somebody calls the police. But that's a lot of people to get onto a property and break in.
And just be
no security cameras in
and
his
you're not
house.
in an apartment.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He ain't got no security cameras.
Oh yeah.
We have a video of a boxer who is actually winning the match and trying to get the referee to stop the fight. So he does have a heart. Let's see what this boxer. His name is not Mike Tyson.
Ian shows mercy to his poor opponent and screams at the referee to, quote, stop the
you're not watching the Sports Joc. Stop the fight, Ralph!
And yes, that was
Stop
blood
the
that
fight.
splattered onto the camera. Where most fight
Stop the fight.
Because I can't stop my fist. I mean, really?
Look like Mason Gill and the media and the producer in the studio. Stop the fight.
I'm finna punch him so hard that I make you stop this
Don't look
fight.
over your eyes over here at me. That was how it was looking.
And then, he starts beating him up like, how hard do I have to punch him before you stop this fight?
Stop the fight, man.
I'm gonna crush his eye socket here if you don't do anything.
It's like he was over there texting and he wasn't even watching what was
you
going on.
gonna make me I'm gonna be on kill them. I don't want to kill him. You're gonna have me living the rest of my life. Talking about, hey, ain't you do
Well, you can control those throws.
No,
he could have controlled his punches.
No, I've been trained to punch hard.
I can't stop myself.
No. You ain't seen Rocky? Just train. I must break you. I must break you, Rocky.
I need help.
Look at this right here though when he went through.
Watch it
again. You could hear the gloves.
Yeah, let's hear the volume of that one more time.
No, let's not.
When the gloves go
let's
past.
not listen. No.
Come on, give me some of that glove here. Can we got the glove? Let's listen
the
to
chin music, sweet chin music.
This is one of those clips you need a disclaimer.
Ian off on him.
But you
sounds like a heavy bag.
Don't watch.
Going pop, pop, pop,
Don't watch.
pop. That's that dude's head.
That sounds like a heavy bag.
That is horrible.
Stop the fight, please. Stop
horrible.
me. Don't let me do this to him so much.
And the guy that was getting punched was looking at the ref like, man, you ain't gonna say nothing. You ain't gonna say nothing. You just standing there. Hold on. Quit playing.
Do your job.
Quit playing. Hold on. Don't hit me. No. Wait a minute. Don't hit me no more. Man, say something.
Wow, I tell you. Jerry West says that Michael Jordan should replace him on the NBA logo.
Really?
For you that don't know, that's who's on the Laker great, Jerry West, who in his time, he's a Hall of Famer, and he has all the numbers and the statistics to be the logo. So it's not like if you look Jerry West up, you're going to be getting some kind of sympathy. He has all types of numbers for in that era when they went to make the symbol. I mean, he was that guy that could put the ball in the basket. I think the logo is iconic. Do you
I don't know why it needs to be changed.
Wait, and then They changed the logo with Jordan. They changed the logo to what, the Jump Man.
With his tongue out.
And then everyone says that would be a conflict of interest because Nike has something to do with it. And they tried to reach Jerry West for comment about that.
But he was
in his brand new Nike mansion saying that he doesn't know what anybody is talking about. He's living in Switzerland
I think
now.
the marketing department needs to redirect its efforts. You at the NBA. There's nothing wrong with the logo. If it's not
iconic,
broke,
right?
If it's not broken.
Yeah, it's like the football shield. It's just the shield of the NFL.
Oh, they're changing that next.
It's the shield and it's the logo. You know how rich you can get just walking up the street and asking people that question? Who is the logo? Who is the name of the person on the logo? They wouldn't know.
Well, thank you. Now
Most
I do.
people don't.
And we can go to Jerry West and Robert Kraft to place bets on FanDuel.
I'll be bringing it up at parties.
To get this money, right.
Oh, man. And our last here, it says Jordan's daughter shows never before seen Michael Jordan's? Okay, I didn't want it to be DeAndre Jordan's daughter. Let's see what this is. Michael Jordan's daughter. All you women should tune in because that's what she likes. If you didn't know. She's taking selfies and
At least she doesn't have an Adidas.
she was making sure she got that in there.
Yeah.
She's giving Dad some love.
Because Dad gives her money.
The dad taking care of her. Last time I checked, she was going to Syracuse. She should be about a junior. I think in college. Syracuse, no? Wrong?
She's a junior. EJ's a debutante. It's just a crazy mixed up world. It's just a crazy mixed up world. It's just a crazy
NBA players.
Yeah, it's just a crazy mixed up world.
He's a debutante.
He's a debutante and she's a junior. And then Michael Jackson.
Almost a second. She's not a second yet.
There's a Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan Jr., Mrs. Jr., but EJ just can't fool me twice. Just can't fool me twice.
Mrs. EJ.
Big Kenny, got anything coming up before we go locally or where we can get to you?
What day
Comedy?
Is this?
This is October.
It's October 26th.
Anything between now and Thanksgiving?
You said what day is it?
What's today? It's a Monday, too.
I gotta
look it up.
I gotta look it up.
You
know,
yeah, your publicist is not happy.
These days be bleeding together for me.
Well, we are in the ocean.
The truth is, he will throw your ass in the ocean. It's time to wrap things up on the Sports Joc Show with Wayne Gandy.
When you hear the sounds of the ocean, it gives the Sports Joc just a minute to vent. We'd like to thank the people that helped us up with the show, Mr. Joe Varden, Cleveland.com NBA reporter, and our man Doug Fireball Turnbull, WSB Radio Atlanta traffic manager. That's why we have all those crashes, because he likes to go fast. If Martin Luther King Jr. was alive, he would be 87 years old. He died at a young age of 39 years old. If he was here, me being a black man in this country, he probably would be very disappointed for where we as black men have taken his dream. I don't think some of the things that we do to each other, he would be happy for some of the scribes. He would be disappointed in his own family for fighting over a Bible. But I don't think we are necessarily resonating what the dream of where the black man was supposed to go on a daily function as we actually treat each other. But one thing he would be smiling about is, as of today, the University of Mississippi has removed the state flag from its campus. Now, for me and Big Kenny and the gentleman in here, we don't understand the weight of that. But somebody that's 87 years old understands the true weight of what that flag stood for, and especially in that state at that time. So we're not throwing anybody in the ocean. We are actually just taking this time to represent a moment in time that some of our grandparents would be definitely happy to know happened. But Big Kenny, the truth, my two producers in the Sports Joc, enjoy your Monday. Have a happy week. We'll see you next Monday live on the Sports Joc Show. Peace.